Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you, another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, folks, sampler V series videos I do for Lana. Go over there, try out food and drink items. I eat stuff and drink stuff. Then, folks, I'm gonna talk about stuff. I'm gonna let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff. That the time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not gonna lie. I don't. I don't have a particularly witty opening for this one. It's not that they're particularly witty to begin with, but in this one in particular, like usually I just try to come up with them on the spot, and today I'm just kind of blanking, so I'm just rambling. But anyway, it's super simple format, folks. I'm going to go over there. I'm going to try out food and or drink items. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm inside the truck. Whilst I'm inside the truck, I'm wearing grody work clothes. Typically, when those two things coincide, that means that I was on my way home from work and I found some shit to review for you. That's not the case today. Not at all, actually. In fact, in regards to these particular two items that I'm going to review, one after the other, two reviews, these are actually ones that I bought, like, I don't know, probably a couple months ago, and not even in one go, just, separately. And they just been in my fridge for, like I said, at least a couple months or so. And I finally was just like, look, I got like half an hour to kill before, because I'm waiting to do something later today. I might as well just get them in now. So, what are the things that I'm getting in now? Well, the first one, folks, is boom! It is Bucked Up Energy Blood Raz, which I'm guessing is blood raspberry. That would be what I would surmise. So, I've reviewed a couple things from Bucked Up Energy a while ago. They're an energy drink brand. I don't really go to them, but like I see them occasionally at Walmart and stuff. And with this particular one, it was just like, all right, I don't think I've had it, and I don't think I've reviewed it, so woo! So here we go. Hopefully this will help keep me awake. I gotta be awake a little bit today. Let's open it up. Smell, yeah, it's definitely raspberry. You can smell it. Now the question is, will it be good raspberry or bad raspberry? Because raspberry can be your best friend or your worst enemy depending on how it's handled. A lot of that has to do with the level of tanginess or sourness that they keep in store. Because it's fine to have some. That can be good. But too much is not good. For me, anyway. Let's give it a go. Ooh. That's tasty and good. I like that. I like that a good amount. Oh, and it's actually 0 sugar. I was just about to say, wow, that's, that's really sweet, added bonus points. I'll be honest with you, I'm kind of surprised that Bucked Up Energy is one of the energy drinks that's on the 0 sugar thing, but good on them. No, that's actually really tasty. I was a little bit worried by the smell because I did have like a pretty strong raspberry smell. I was like, it might be a bit much raspberry, but it's actually not. They blended it really nicely. It is 0 sugar, but it's still sweet for sure. I'm sure they're using some other sweetener in there. Sucralose. There you go, sucralose. And it's... Does it say how much caffeine it has? I guess it's 300 milligrams of caffeine. It's like caffeine and hydrous, which I got nothing on, but it says it's 300 milligrams of that, which that's a lot of caffeine. But no, it's sweet. It's not like overly sweet though, but it's sweet enough where I didn't immediately think that it was 0 sugar, which is a good thing for me. I'm not big on the 0 sugar taste, and I'm happy that with beverages and food and stuff, we've gotten better at hiding that 0 sugar flavor. This one does a pretty damn good job of it. Excuse me. Yeah. I don't know that I could say that I really, excuse me again, that I can taste any particular 0 sugar, like, lingering aspect of it. Maybe a tiny bit. Maybe like a tiny aftertaste. But mostly what it is you get this kind of nice, brisk sort of raspberry flavor. And then it's very quickly followed by this, kind of sweetness that kind of mellows it out. It's good. I actually like it quite a bit. And it's weird because I was worried about it having too much raspberry flavor. If I have a critique of this, it would be that I feel like they could have done a little bit more raspberry flavor, which is not something you're going to regularly hear me say. But if you watch my show, you know that I love contrasting flavors. I love highs and lows and lefts and rights and all this stuff. Like, I like how that, it creates a nice flavor experience. Excuse me. In the case with this, I think if there was a little bit more tanginess to the raspberry, excuse me again. Sorry, I'm just super gassy for whatever reason. I think that if it had just a little bit more of that tanginess, it would create that contrast between the tang and the sweet, which is always a really good contrast when you have that. As is, there's a little bit, but because of the raspberry flavor, like, that tanginess dies down before it reaches anything close to a crescendo, it doesn't quite get the maximum out of it. And I think if they had done that, not only would it have been like a nice brisk raspberry flavor, I think it would have potentially given that what I like to refer to, that kind of sensation, that you get from, certain things that do a good job with that. Like Sprite is a really good example where, it's sweet, but you get that very like, kind of moment. This, I feel, actually almost has that, which is rare for an energy drink, first of all. But I think that like I said, I think a little bit more raspberry they could have gotten away with. But that's me kind of just picking little things. Like, it is really tasty. And the fact that not only is it a raspberry energy drink that I'm genuinely down with, but then on top of that, it's also zero sugar, that's really cool. I might even say, and out of all the bucked up energy drinks that I've had, which hasn't been a lot, they don't have a shit ton of flavors, but I've tried most of them. Emphasis on most because, well, I do have another review coming after all. This one might actually be my favorite. I like this one a lot. I think it, not only does it just do a good job, I mean, for one thing, you're getting 300 milligrams of caffeine, which, again, good and bad, but, two questions have to be asked. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? Yeah, and probably. Yeah. For me, it wouldn't be a go-to, for sure. Like, it's not going to replace any of my favorites, but I appreciate, like I said, I appreciate the fact that it's a raspberry energy drink, because that's not, it happens for sure, but I wouldn't call it commonplace. And the fact that it's really well done. So, if I have a particular tingling for that flavor combination in energy drink format, this is probably the best that I've run into. So, yeah, they did a really good job. As for recommending it for people, ultimately it depends on what you want. If you want a really strong raspberry flavor, well, it doesn't have that. If you want, something that's lower caffeine, well, it's about reasonable expectations, but in terms of just the product overall, it's tasty. The zero sugar aspect doesn't impede it in any way. The raspberry flavor, although maybe not as prominent as I think it could have been, it's still there. It's still certainly recognizable. And it's just overall, it's a pretty nice, easy to drink beverage, And especially if you're over there, if you're in some sort of situation where you really need the caffeine, well, fuck, man, you got it. But anyway. 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day. Spectacular rest of the week. Money, much rest of the month. Stupendous rest of your folks. You can go over there, have yourselves a truly surprisingly good raspberry-tastic rest of your life, I guess. Because, every now and again you get surprised by raspberries. Which seems like a weird thing. Like, it sounds like, in my head, it's like, you're just going over there and you turn a corner and all of a sudden you just got a gang of giant raspberries there ready to shake you down and kick your ass. My head is weird. I say things and I think things, and then my brain is just like, all right, let's come up with this. Boop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doo. That's how my brain works. How does your brain work? I don't know. Final 2 things. Number 1, try to bring some positivity in the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But Well, you can't do it all the time. I know I can't do it all the time. Here's what you're going to do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Folks, it's not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. You know, I'm over there today. Like I said, I'm waiting to do something. The only reason why I'm waiting to do something is because I'm trying to find a particular item. And it's not for a review, just, my own person. But I really, really want this particular item, and I want it today. And every location that I used to buy it at no longer carries it. So I have to wait for a spot that I do not go to, that I am not familiar with, to open up. Because according to the website, they still carry it. Hooray. But it's important when we run into situations that are stressful, frustrating, etc. Take a step back. Try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives. Hopefully do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks. Do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, maybe you're going to go over there. Maybe, maybe you're going to be surprised by some raspberries, right? And maybe, for whatever reason, it'll be some sort of a situation like I came up with in my brain where it's like, okay, it's, you're over there and you're just walking by and then gang of giant raspberries. Well, now we've got a whole problem because now is it a whole stranger than fiction thing? Like, am I writing your life and I'm just not realizing it? Are you Will Ferrell? If you're Will Ferrell, that's a hell of a thing. If you like, comment, and subscribe if you're Will Ferrell, by the way. That is the only time in any of my reviews that I've done to this point that I've ever gone over there and said like, comment, and subscribe. It will probably be the only time, because I try not to push that. I like to hope that my content does the speaking for me. But if you are Will Ferrell, or if you happen to know Will Ferrell, maybe go over there and send him my way in terms of the reviews and stuff. Maybe it'll help him out. I don't know what he's doing with his life. Yeah, this went weird. I didn't expect Will Ferrell to make a cameo, but works. Or conversely, maybe go watch the movie Stranger Than Fiction. I've honestly never watched it. I've heard good things. But that was kind of during that period with Will Ferrell, where for me, it's kind of the point like we have with Chris Pratt right now, where it's like, I like Chris Pratt. There's too much Chris Pratt. There's too much. He's been in every movie for like the last fucking 10 years, and I don't need, I like him. I loved him in Park and Rec. I love him in, Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't need him to be in every movie. I just don't. It's kind of where I was with Will Ferrell back in like the early 2000s. It was like, Anchorman was great. Tropic Thunder was kind of okay. And then it was a lot. It was a lot. And then Stranger in Fiction came out, and like, again, I've heard good things, and I should watch that. Bye.